is Walsall. It's also home to this filthy lot. Sharon, Sarah and Nicola are the suspects of this crime scene investigation. These three are oblivious to the hidden dangers of their sport. Running amok on this pitch is a potentially deadly cocktail of bugs and bacteria. So, now it's up to us to tackle the invisible hazards preying on these ladies playing a man's game. Honestly, girls playing rugby. Yep, another Grime Scene Investigation. Our brief: to investigate the invisible world of bugs and bacteria and solve problems plaguing households across the country. Using cutting-edge technology, we expose the germs and microorganisms living with and on our suspects. Our mission: to identify the dirtiest offender, aka the criminal. The team's led by me, Rufus Ham. The curly-haired cowboy to my rear is Dr. Anthony Hilton, one of the country's leading microbiologists. There are two famous pappers, Smurf and John. This guy's got a microscope. Then there's Jess, Laura and Taria. Anthony's research team, the Antoinettes. This lorry is stuffed full of £1 million worth of science miracles, and we're bringing them to you like Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson! Rugby's a frenzy of violent contact, hard drinking, vomiting and mucky shorts. So, to take part you've got to be tough. But Sharon, Sarah and Nicola's greatest opponent is the pitch they're playing on. Lurking under their boots is a fearsome line-out of bugs and bacteria itching to wage war on the girls' battered bodies. And we're particularly concerned that this pitch is being used for other activities, creating an environment overrun with serious biohazards. In recent years, rugby's fallen victim to necrotising fasciitis, a flesh-eating virus. It destroys human tissue at a rate of 3 centimetres per hour and can result in amputation. At its worst, it's fatal. But it's not just the flesh-eating virus that they're at risk from. Soil samples can contain a grand slam of anthrax, tetanus, hepatitis B, all potentially lethal, especially if they get into an open wound. It's our job to investigate what the biggest risks are on and off the pitch for this tough-tackling trio. What contaminants are they bringing home? And which of them is the criminal? We're going to the van for a chat. You can all file out the front. So, ladies, playing rugby. It's a man's game, isn't it?
No.
You must get cuts and bruises all the time, don't you?
I broke my leg.
Dislocated my shoulder.
Sprained my ankle.
You guys must get filthy, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll off and get up and do it again. Yeah. Roll off and get up and do it again.
Yeah. I went out with a girl like that once. Are there things from the games that you wouldn't necessarily expect that you would get from playing rugby?
Well, there has been an occasional dog do on the pitch when you think, oh, I didn't want to lie down next to that.
No.
It has also been known for people to throw up during the game as well. And not everyone makes it off the pitch to do it. Yeah.
I do try.
Do any of you guys get particularly ill, or you have any medical conditions or anything like that?
I've got asthma. So I have to use my inhaler if it's a bit cold or if you have to run around far too much.
So you obviously need to take the inhaler with you to games. Where does that then live?
In my boot bag.
Right, okay.
With the boots and the gum shield, because then I don't ever forget to take it with me.
It's practical,
yeah.
if suicidal. tell me a bit more about how you clean your gum shield?
Well, the last time I cleaned it, I noticed there was black bits in it, so I cleaned it with my toothbrush and then just carried on using my toothbrush as normal.
Okay, so if there was anything horrible in there...
Washing up, I put it in the water.
Nice.
I didn't know you'd done that. It was quite gross.
Between the three of you, I would say right now, who's the criminal? Who's the filthiest? Point now at who you think that's going to be. Nice, a nice divide, a nice split, although you're kind of copying it a little bit in the middle there. So, we already know that one of our suspects has asthma and that another's been known to vomit during a game. Worrying stuff that could well be pitch related. Next, we need to body scan them and build a digital map of their bodies. We're looking for the tiniest cut or scratch, a gateway for bacteria that could make their sweet chariot swing low. 6 foot under low. Pitch side. We're looking for evidence that could be responsible for Sharon and Nicola and Sarah getting ill. It's pretty clear there's a pitch invasion going on.
It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack looking for the big obvious things, but what's more interesting is the things that we can't see. We're probably going to find, I would expect, 2 species of Clostridia, which are both anaerobic microorganisms. They live in the soil. Now, 2 of them you might have heard of are Clostridium botulinum, which causes botulism.
Right.
Botulism symptoms include double vision, slurred speech, paralysis, and even death! Tetanus, also known as lockjaw, a disease affecting the body's muscles and nerves, arising from contaminated skin wounds. Once in the body, it produces a neurotoxin and, you guessed it, can be fatal! Have it!
You know, they're playing hard, they pick up a stud wound or something like that. The organism gets in, or the spores get into the wound, particularly if it's on the hands or the feet, you know, at the periphery of the bodies. They could be exposing themselves to tetanus.
It shouldn't really be dog poo on the rugby field. This would be very dangerous. It's quite old. It's quite old, but it looks like it's been trodden in and run into. So take that off for something.
2 things that are definitely lurking around. Oi! Have you found anything?
What's the...
Dog poo.
Nice.
The thing is with this poo, whether it's cat poo or dog poo, is that it could contain cysts of toxicara or toxoplasma, both of which are involved in infections that could lead to blindness. So either of those are not great, really, are they? So we'll take that and have a look at it and see what we can find. Take that back to Lag Rufus, we'll sort that out later.
Yeah, remind me,
Yeah.
I got dog poo in my pocket and the flies are buzzing. What's the best way of catching one of them, do you reckon?
Chopsticks.
We're worried it could be black fly, whose bites can cause severe bruising and infection. We need to ID them in the lab, so it's game on to bag the first one. Right. What do you reckon? Anything in there? No. We're trying to catch flies, John.
Oh, you mean one of these?
What did you do that with?
Well, it's a water bottle.
Back at Bug Central, Papa John's electron microscopising the day's catch. John, have you found stuff already?
Yes, and it's Califora vomitoria,
Nice.
which, as its name suggests, can carry diseases like diarrhea and things.
And this is crawling out of their rugby pitch.
I mean, there were a lot of animal droppings on that pitch. The larvae are probably living in that, and then it goes into the soil to pupate, and then it emerges.
Disease-ridden bacteria from fly saliva can be transferred to humans. They can carry millions of bacteria, travel between excrement, rotting meat and open wounds, causing food poisoning and dysentery. And there's more. The biting black fly which John caught was also a pest. It attacks humans and animals and feeds on the blood of its host, causing allergic reactions. In short, it's almost as repellent as Jeremy Kyle. But not quite, after all. This one's not on television. Oh, hang on. We've got hard evidence the pitch is home to disease-causing bugs. Time to swab the girls and see if they've contracted any other microbial nasties.
When was the last time that you washed your hands today?
The fact the pitch is covered in dog poo means the girls' hands could be contaminated with E. coli, a bacteria that upsets your tum, induces nausea, and could well be the cause of what makes these girls scrum down in their own vom.
This already looks a good colour, yeah, it's a really good colour.
Do you have any idea you think the criminal really is now?
Probably me after that Fate episode.
You reckon? Yes.
You get cold sores in the summer, do you, when the... or do you have them in the
summer,
playing season
in
as
the
well?
Winter, when I'm tired.
When these girls get up close and medieval on each other, it means that viruses like herpes could be spread, especially when they share water bottles. Buy your own!
Is there maybe a little bit of you that's like secretly hoping you're really not?
I don't have any major infections or anything, so I can't be that bad, can I?
Quite. Or can you? Dun dun dun!
Just close your eye for me.
Contaminated contact lenses from this contact sport mean Nicola here is potentially in a one-on-one with conjunctivitis, which, in extreme cases, can cause permanent blindness.
Do you still think that Sarah's the criminal?
Yeah.
Pitch-wise, we're on the case to nail what makes the girls ill, but we also need proof that they're bringing bad bugs back.
Right, so this is the boot of one of the girls' cars.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a braver man than me. I mean, this is the real place that they all said to look. Kit bags, boots of the car.
What's that?
That's the gum shield.
Oh, look at that! Would you put that in your mouth?
I wouldn't, it wouldn't fit. But that's in with the boots.
Yeah.
Now, that white thing there,
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure if you look, that's her inhaler.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was a deodorant stick.
No.
What the... That's filthy. I think we'll take this with me.
Yeah.
In fact, let's just take the entire lot, shall we?
Yeah.
Get a bag.
Maybe she's a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Suits
That's
you.
lovely. I don't know if I can still do it anymore, but I'll give it a go. Hang on. Oh, look at that. You never lose it, you know. Should we take that?
Yeah, sab it.
All right. Come on, then.
Can you swab these first? Can you shove those on? I'll have a nutrient and an MEA. There's an inhaler in here as well. Have a good look at that, because it looks filthy to me.
Can I ask you one last question? Sure. If I keep this hat on, will you call me Elwood?
Yeah.
Wicked. Okay. Well, then you can't have the hat, I'm afraid. Good.
We're worried about Nicola's asthma and think that her mud-coated inhaler could be doing her more harm than good. But we need to check the house to see if there are any other risk areas.
Right. Oh, nice.
There's a bit of fungus going on there.
Moulds can produce toxins, which cause allergic reactions and respiratory problems. These fungal fiends could be having a field day in Nicola's lungs.
If there's this much fungus in here, I'm sure that they'll be chucking out spores. I'll get one of the girls to bring a monitor up and check it out.
We'll leave this to go, and this will be 150 litres of air per minute that we'll take from the bathroom.
With the house quarantine lifted, the girls grab their gear and head for training. It'll give us the chance to see their mean streaks in full effect.
Ah, nice teeth, lovely smile. Be a shame if they all got knocked out, so you want a gum shield in, but that gum shield is covered in all the crap from the bottom of the boots.
Yeah.
You know how much dog poo we found on that pitch?
and bird poo.
Yeah. So a bit of tackle practice and Sharon's up once again.
What are those red things?
They're like cushiony, stop you getting hurty things.
All right.
Mind you, the way she went in there, I reckon you'd still get quite a thump.
I don't know if you've heard about this phrase called scrumpox.
Scrumpox?
Yeah, it's something I've read in the literature, particularly related to rugby in the front row. So the props and the hooker, and they're in the scrum, and if they've got, for example, a cold sore on the lip, they can spread it around to each other.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next step, we need some hard evidence.
Oh, Jess, hi, it's Anthony. Can you just take some samples for us? Yeah, what should we... take some swabs as well?
No, stomacher bags.
What?
Stomacher bags.
What do you want to do that for?
Oh, see at least what they've been exposed to. Anything in the bottom of the bag's got to have been on them to begin with.
That's a rubbish experiment.
Hey! Jess, yeah, we've slight change of mind. It's definitely stomacher bags. Definitely stomacher bags. Yeah. All right, ta-da. No, Anthony, he's gone for a wee. Bye!
Sarah! Gareth! Come on! We've got to get back!
The Antoinettes fly back to the pitch to do the shaken bag with our threesome. Using sterile water, we can collect any harmful bacteria they've picked up from the pitch and put the freshness back in the lab.
There you go.
As the Antoinettes work into the night, our suspects are detained indoors until the results are ready.
Oh, day one has been slow and torturous.
I haven't been in the best of moods and just have to keep going in and out and answering questions.
Questions. Everybody asks you something else.
A bit apprehensive about tomorrow. If it's going to be the same as today, I'll be well pissed off, but just got to get on with it.
Day 2. And it begins with Anthony discovering some disturbing evidence that could explain why the girls are getting ill, especially asthmatic Nicola. Yeah, I think I speak for everybody who isn't you two when I say, what the hell are you doing?
Well, in the kit bag, you know, we took them out of the car. In there, I found absolutely loads of an organism called Bacillus cereus. Can produce a toxin which can lead to food poisoning symptoms. So you can have vomiting, you can have diarrhea and things like that. But I was quite pleased with myself with this find that I've got, Aspergillus.
And that's also a bit of a nasty one.
That's a bit of a nasty one, particularly for people with asthmatic problems. But I just highlighted Nicola as a case because this is in her kit bag. Where is her inhaler? In the bag with the Aspergillus, with the boots. Again, not a great situation, I don't think.
So she's taking something to help her breathing, and the thing she's taking is covered in things that make it harder for her to breathe.
Bingo, yeah. Not good. We found on a pink toothbrush an organism called Klebsiella oxytosa, with the animals dropping these feces which we found on the field. Possibly that Klebsiella has come from one of the animals that were on there.
Klebsiella normally lives outside the body and is a nasty piece of work. It can lead to pneumonia and lung damage.
We also found the same organism on a sponge and on one of the gum guards. The pink toothbrush ended up being Sharon's, and it turns out that Sharon washes her gum shield in dishwater.
Yeah, that was the chat I had with her. Certainly that's what she said to me.
Right, so the link is there. Sarah works in a nursing home, but it is interesting that she is carrying Staph aureus up her nose, and about 40% of people do carry Staph aureus up the nose.
Staphylococcus aureus, commonly found on skin and in the nasal passages, can cause dangerous bacterial infections, especially if it's the black sheep of the Staph aureus family, MRSA, the hospital superbug and killer.
And I think what this all indicates is they bring something nasty in. It's spreading as well.
So we've got genuine things to tell them that genuinely need to change, ideally.
Yeah, if you carry on in this way, you're leaving yourself susceptible to possible infections.
Well, it's beautiful work you do.
Well, you know I love my job.
I'm going to go and talk to Papa John. He's found me something with 12 arseholes. John's found some freeloading little tykes who hitched a ride in the girls' kit bags and set up home in their carpet. With 12 backsides and an appetite for destruction, these carpet-crunching fiends could cause no end of damage. So this thing can literally poo 12 to the dozen?
It looks that way, yes.
Well, 16 to the 16. Yes. Has less of a ring to it.
Yeah.
Less of a retina. Lord of the Rings, a.k.a. the carpet bug, a.k.a. Woolly Bear. It destroys furniture, clothes and carpets for a laugh. It's most grumpy in its hairy adolescent phase, and like all teenagers, if you leave them to their own devices, they'll trash your house and mug your grandma. But this little Asbo dodger could also be damaging to health. Its tiny hairs are allergens, making him another suspect, triggering Nicola's asthma.
Yeah, something with 16 bums.
Yeah, well, apparently so. I've counted about 16.
Are they possibly breathing spiracles, John?
They could be.
But you think it could be how it breathes?
I would suspect so, yeah. I think it highly unlikely it would have so many bum holes.
Why have you got to take that away from me?
I'm sorry.
I thought we'd found something that had 16 ring pieces, and suddenly, oh no, it's just how it breathes.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah? Yeah, well, it better be fine.
Forget it.
No, forget you.
You.
Forget you.
Whatever.
I want it to be bum holes, John. As far as this investigation's concerned, it's bum holes.
All right.
These three are level pegging as to who is the criminal. Sarah might have MRSA up her hooter, while Sharon and Nicola are bunging gum shields in their mouths that are crawling with bacteria. We need to narrow it down, but me and the doctor just can't agree. You know, those results make me think it's got to be one of the two with the gum shield. I reckon we can pretty much discount Sarah from this.
Why is that then?
Well, I mean, these guys have got things that you normally find in soil in their gobs. It's got to be one of those two.
Yeah, but the nose is riddled with Staph aureus.
Yeah, but they share so much in that house. I reckon anything that Sarah's going to have on her, the other two are going to have as well. The gum shield's are the edging factor.
But they don't.
What, at all?
No, that I could see, no. What about Sharon? I mean, her gum shield's pretty bad as well.
We've seen, like, the physical evidence that normal human beings can see with their eyes indicate it's got to be the little Scot. She says herself that she washes her gum shield with a toothbrush, goes straight back in the gob. I'm telling you, I'm on this one. I'm on this. It's going to be Nicola. It's come down to a battle of science versus creative thinking.
So this is Shanna's t-shirt.
Yeah.
This is Nicola's t-shirt.
Yep, it's scientific method versus method acting. I'm Nicola. Great, I'm just home after a deep clean rugby. Sling the bag down, have a wee bit of a sip.
Whose is this one?
This was Nicola.
I'm still thinking it could be any of us.
By losing myself in character, I hope to truly become the criminal.
It's got to a stage where different things on each of us is quite bad.
Quite a bit more staff on this plate. Who's that one?
That'll be Sharon.
This time, I'm Sharon. Right, I've had a hard day working in sewers. Oh, I'm a lady. Wash, 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 wash.
Their socks are also quite comparable.
Boots. Sarah, if anybody comes out worse of all of that, her feet are disgusting.
Everyone else uses kind of tinge and mine's just brown.
Sarah doesn't have a gum shield, the other two do. They both wash their gum shields. Nicola washes her gum shield. Sharon washes her gum shield in the kitchen. My name's Sharon, and what do? I wash my dirty gum shield in the sink. So I'm going to washing up. Anything on that is going to spread onto the sponge. And that's why Anthony's giving me a hard time. Yeah, Nicola's as dirty as Sharon, but Sharon's stuff puts other people at risk. Right. Well, I'm feeling pretty good about myself now. Evidence in and case almost closed. It's time to show our girls the error of their ways and reveal just who is the criminal.
Not much in it, is there really? They both look pretty similar.
Every time I spoke to you, every time we had a conversation, I said to you, where should we be looking? The three of you, kit bag, kit bag, kit bag. So guess what we looked at?
Kit bag.
Absolutely right, yeah.
There was a whole zoo of things going on in there, really. I found a fungal species called Aspergillus, and I found this in your kit bag, Nicola, right next to your inhaler. And obviously then you're going to take in the spores from the Aspergillus, so it may be advisable to remove it and put it somewhere else.
Well, see, I'm just protecting myself by building my immunity.
Oh, not that old chest.
Obviously, Sarah, you've said pretty much every time you've been in this van, it's all over your feet. It's your feet, my feet. I can't believe how bad my feet were. Ow, my feet. My feet, my feet, my feet.
We took some samples of you, and one of the classic places that we can look is for nasal carriage of a microorganism called Staphylococcus aureus. And we took a sample of your your nasal passage. And I'm also delighted to tell you that you do actually carry Staph aureus up your nose, but I'm sad to tell you that it wasn't MRSA.
In other words, you don't have a deadly disease. Congratulations. But there was something that took me a little while to work out, but it was really the defining factor in working out who was the criminal.
And that is the gum shields that you all wear. But one of them in particular was contaminated with an organism called Klebsiella oxytosa. It is loosely associated with fecal contamination. And I found it in the sponge in the kitchen, and I also found it in the sink and around the drainer. And I also found it in your bathroom on a pink toothbrush.
Sarah, your feet were an absolute mess. No doubt about that. The colour that came off the water we poured on them.
Walking around all day.
Yeah, you would hope so from the colour that came off the water that we poured on your feet. But as you can tell from all this talk of gum shields, when we're looking for the criminal, it isn't you. Gum shield wearers, Nicola, you are not the criminal.
What did I say earlier?
Sharon, I'm sorry to say it, but I'm afraid the criminal is you, and it's because of one anecdote you told me. When it came to washing the gum shield, how did you go about it?
After I'd done the washing up, I thought, oh, my gum shield. I'll just wash that as well.
Now, the thing that we had
But that was absolutely months ago, and yeah, that's even worse.
I think I'll definitely put in
I'm getting a new toothbrush and cleaning my gum
throwing
shields.
the sponge away.
Yeah, I'm going to start wearing shoes.
Rugby is a tough old game, and these three wouldn't have it any other way. Nobody got cauliflower ears or a smile like Shane McGowan's from playing badminton. However, with their penchant for contaminated kit, dirt-flavoured asthma inhalers and Stick of the Dumps gum shield, these three are taking on more than just the other 15 mud-loving maidens every time they step onto the pitch. Hopefully, the evidence we've presented them with will see them avoiding locking heads with the microbial All Blacks lurking underneath their studs and keep them from the final whistle a little while longer. Job done. A Grime Scene Investigation closed and time for us to hit the showers, and I think give ourselves a well-deserved pat on the back. After all, not once did we mention that lady rugby player is a popular euphemism for lager, please, Papa John. Yeah, cheers. What was I saying? Can't have been that important. Fruit machine, is it?